Welcome to your doom.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Justin.
What's up, guys? It's Atul.
This is episode 7 of the Welcome to Your Doom show.
Sure is.
Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about... What do we got this episode, Mr. Katru?
So the last time we talked about where we went.
Yeah.
So I'd gone to Fantastic Fest. You'd gone to Hawaii.
Yes.
We're going to talk about one of those things. Not Hawaii.
Fair.
Okay.
Good. I didn't want
so we're going to talk a little bit about Fantastic Fest, but we also went since Fantastic Fest in what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, we went to New York. We went to New York, and we went to New York Comic Con. And we went Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, what we saw there, what we thought. It's been a couple of years since I've been, because I mentioned before on the show, I lived in New York up until about from 2008 to 2015. And I think pretty much every year I went, but for the last 2 years, 2015, 2016, I did not go. And this was the first time back after 2 years. And some things changed, but it was generally a good experience. I enjoyed it. But I think what we can do is just jump right in. We'll skip news today. I think we have a lot, we have a lot to
cover, yeah.
Yeah, and jump into just talking a little bit. We'll start with Fantastic Fest.
You want to start with... No, we'll start with Comic-Con. I feel like the Fantastic Fest stuff will be more... I don't know.
Sure, yeah, hey, I don't care.
I don't care.
Oh, yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
All right.
Do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Do you want to do rock, paper, scissors to see what we start on?
Fine.
Which one are you going for? Which one? If
what do you mean? What are you going to tell me? You want me to tell you what my move is going to be?
No.
What?
If
That's
you
not how
win,
you play this game.
Oh, God. Okay. We'll just do this. Whoever wins gets to choose what we start on. Okay. Now, are you going to put rock, paper, scissors?
Don't you try that shit with me.
One
sir.
and done. None of this.
All right, go. Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Gotcha.
He scissored me.
We're going with...
You're up.
That came out wrong.
No, it didn't.
We are going to start with Fantastic Fest. All right?
I was drinking. That's why I was saying. No,
Okay.
That's great. Cool. Let's do it.
Before we jump in, we are drinking some interesting stuff today. We've got this
Event
guy.
Horizon. This beer, actually, this was on the Instagram post I put on before we started this. This is from Halo Brewery. This is the first time I've ever tried their stout. It's a stout with... I can never say that. Can you just say...
Hang on, let me just read this.
Please.
Foreign extra stout with sarsaparilla. Event Horizon.
Sarsaparilla.
I thought it was
There's a way to pronounce...
sarsaparilla.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sarsaparilla. I don't know. I've only ever heard Damian Marley say it in a song, and he says sarsaparilla.
I think...
So I don't know. I'm gonna say it like that until somebody tells me I am annoying and wrong.
Hold on. I'm actually looking it up now because I want to know how to pronounce this thing.
But this also has a really cool label, and the fact that it's called Event Horizon does not surprise me because this label is kind of awesome. I would have picked this up a blind pickup because it's a really nice bottle design.
I went a few days ago, and that's when I picked it up directly. I mean, they only sell out of the one place, and I picked it straight up from there. And it was like, as soon as I tried it, I was like, I'm getting like a bunch of these.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. Do they let you try it before? Or do you just get a half pint or something?
They sell 5-ounce pours, which are like $2 or $3, and then they sell I think 12-ounce or 8-ounce or whatever.
Yeah,
I think 12-ounce pours for about $6-7, and then this bottle itself was, I think this one was either $6.50 or $7. So
yeah,
it's totally
it is
worth
smaller than the next one, so we finished this bottle. We're now drinking the Great Lakes Brewery seasonal called the Saison du Pump.
Saison,
and it's like a sort of a sour-ish pumpkin ale, which is really really cool. And actually, I like the bottle so much that I actually bought some prints last year. And I have them up on my wall here, and it's good. It's like I said, it's kind of sour with that pumpkin infusion. So that's what we're drinking right now, and yeah, I think we can jump right in. There we go. All right. With that, Fantastic Fest. We talked a little bit about how it's run last time, I think, but one of the things that really stood out to me when I went there. This is in Austin, Texas, and when I went there. The Alamo Draft House in South Lamar, it's run really, really well. Like, basically, it's all at the Alamo Draft House. I think they have 9 screens. No, actually, they have more. They may have 10. They had 10 or 11 screens, actually.
Okay, yeah.
And basically, the way it's done is that a bunch of movies are playing in different slots. 24 hour, like basically starting at 10 a.m. the day before, you're able to choose your top first, second, and third pick. You choose it, and then at 2 p.m. it takes everybody's input, and then algorithmically actually just gives you your entry tickets.
Right.
Right? And now you may not always get your first top pick. I ended up getting my top pick most of the time. The times I didn't get my top pick, I wasn't too concerned because I wasn't dying to see the movie that was my top pick. I was okay to see, whatever.
Did they, for some of the more popular films, did they offer more screenings?
Yes.
Okay,
yes. So the films
Smart.
that they knew that were going to be a little more, they'd have like 2 or 3 screens. Like for the big date, like the big opening night and closing night films, they had multiple screens for those, for example. So it's pretty great. It's all done through your phone. So you go and your badge. So you just walk in when you get your ticket on, through the app. You just walk in, they scan your badge, and it's, whether you have the ticket or not. There are no physical tickets.
Nice.
It's all done on the back end, and it's really, really seamless, really great. There's a bar. Like, I've always wanted to go to an Alamo Draft House. Never been to one before. There's a bar in the lobby. There's a cocktail bar called the Highball right next to it. Really cool spots, and the whole place is liquor licensed. If you get a drink at the Highball, you can take your drink and you can just like walk over to the theater with like a pint of beer.
Nice.
And sit down. And then in the theater, they have really great food service. And I ate like lunch and dinner there like so many times while I was watching movies. Because they have, but the food is really good.
Wait, they do food service and drink service in the theater? During the movie? No.
Well, they take it at the start, but you can order anything during the movie. They have a really good system of you writing stuff down, a little thing, a little hook thing where you can put the paper, and then they come in, they read it, and they'll bring you your food.
Interesting.
It's really great. The way they built the theater is like they have seats and then a space where servers can walk through, and then seats, and then a space, and then seats, and then a space. So it's like really, it is built for service, and it's done really, really well.
Because you'd think that like you don't want it to be like inhibiting from people watching the movie, especially like the Alamo Drafthouse is known for like coming down on people
talking and
hard.
texting.
Talking, texting. Man, I want to, if I see somebody turn their phone on during the movie, I want to just walk up and slap it out of their hand.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Cut that out.
They are and they have these PSAs at the beginning, and they're all really different about, no talking and texting. And a lot of them are really funny.
Yeah.
No talking. You can look them up on YouTube. But no toxting.
No toxting.
No toxting.
Don't you dare toxt in this movie, or else shit is gonna go down.
Yeah. So that's sort of like setting the scene in terms of like where I was and what kind of environment it was. The culture there is everybody is super sweet, super nice. I got to meet a lot of people that either work in the industry, people that I admire, people that I like, articles I've been reading by folks I've been reading for years. Like these writers were there, like these that work for like JoeBlow.com and Arrow in the Head and like a couple of other podcasts I listen to. These folks were there, and it was really fun to meet these people and just hang out with them and like have drinks and talk about movies. It was just like it was a lot of fun. I can see why that culture is so what do you call it? Like it's just so inviting. It's very family. I was gonna say family.
Not family friendly.
It's like a family.
Yeah,
they are like a family there. And it was like my first time there. I've never been a part of that community, but I've always like at arm's length been reading about them constantly. And, for years, since the 90s, reading about the Alamo and reading about Fantastic Fest, and finally got to go. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the movies I saw. So I'm going to go through highlights, lowlights, and maybe an honorable mention or two. But let's start with the highlights really quick. And I'll try to keep this brief. But Brawl in Cell Block 99. This was a really great movie and an amazing follow-up to Bone Tomahawk. Craig, I believe his name is Craig S. Zoller. I should have had that open here, but maybe you can fact check me on that.
The director?
The writer-director, yeah. Who wrote Bone Tomahawk, which I absolutely adore. If I had to choose between the two, Bone Tomahawk is still something I like more because I'm a sucker for a Western like genre.
Yeah.
I think it's just a genre thing. the filmmaking is top notch in both cases. And in some cases, Cell Block 99, I can see his craft getting a little tighter. He's getting better at what he's doing. Vince Vaughn, like you'd never seen him before. Like this guy, he is just a brute in this movie, and he shows it. The choreography is really something. Like, remember how deliberate everything is in Bone Tomahawk? A lot of long shots, not a lot of cuts, and like the violence being hard hitting and brutal. Mm-hmm. Exactly the same thing, but sort of in a prison setting, and like it's like a very exploitationist kind of like violence, where the violence is just. There is okay. Let's put it this way.
He's like an ex-boxer or something like that, right? Or
I don't know if he's a boxer. I can't remember if he might be. He must be. I think. Oh no, you're right. No, he is.
I thought I read that. I haven't seen the film myself.
Yeah, and it's been a little while since I watched the movie, and I'd seen so many since then. But he does have. I recall a conversation in the film that he talks about boxing.
Yeah.
But two things I want to highlight. One is that there's a scene straight out of Street Fighter, and you will know it when you see it. It's pretty funny. All I can think of was Street Fighter.
I'm just picturing Vince Vaughn like, who's the sumo wrestler?
E Honda.
E Honda, just going across the screen really slowly like this and headbutting.
No. There's another scene, and when you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And the other scene, there is a scrape in this film that you will not soon forget. I think we can simply leave it. Oh, the other thing was that Udo Kier is in this movie.
Love me some Udo Kier.
Dude, Udo Kier, and he's great in the movie. And Udo Kier was along with the rest of the creative team, or the team was at Fantastic Fest.
Yeah. And
just to see this guy in person, I'm like, you are just a marvel of a man. When you look at him, he's like, I don't know what to say. When he looks at you, he's hypnotic. Like, I'm in a trance. He's got those crazy bug eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, Christopher Walken, Udo Kier, and Michael Shannon are part of, like, the same weird bug eyes family where they all have these weird stares.
Michael Shannon, though? Oh,
Michael
Michael
Shannon.
Shannon. Sorry, I was
Zod.
thinking. No, I know. I was thinking of.
Dude, that guy's eyes are constantly trying to escape
straight
his
up
skull.
bug eyes. I was thinking of the guy that played the main Lycan in Underworld, Michael Sheen. I was thinking. Michael Sheen.
No, not.
I was like, that guy is adorable.
He's adorable.
He has no bug.
Michael Shannon, Christopher Walken, and Udo Kier are kind of like three guys I kind of lump together in terms of their performances, because they're usually very strange.
Yeah.
Playing villains or whatever. My favorite Udo Kier line is from Blade. When he's talking to Stephen Dorff, and he slaps him. He slaps Stephen Dorff.
Yeah.
And then Stephen Dorff comes and grabs his face and puts his hand on his face. It's this weird, like, erotic moment.
Yeah.
And then Udo Kier is just like, you bore me. And then he just walks away. I'm like, when I was watching this as a kid, I'm like, what is going on? This is crazy. And Udo Kier's face is burned into my head because I watched Blade so many times.
Yeah.
So just to see him in person, it was amazing. And he was at the big great debates where he was debating. The debate was Christopher Lee was the best on-screen Dracula ever, and he was arguing against that. And Udo Kier himself has played Dracula.
Yeah.
And just I was in a crowd of people chanting, Udo, 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 Udo. And I'm like, and it was so surreal. I was looking around like, this is insane. It's like this fever, like that's like gone over the entire, it was in a boxing gym. So it was like, it was just like, it reminded me of the scene in Blade with the bloodbath where everyone's just like, screaming and yelling and chanting and stuff. Oh, it was nuts. It was great. So that's Cell Block 99. Great. Like it's hyper violent. If you like Bone Tomahawk, you're gonna love this movie. The next one I want to talk about is Bodied, which is a Eminem produced film by a director named Joseph Kahn, and it is about battle rap, but it's like 8 Mile if it had a sense of humor and a scathing sort of commentary, social and racial commentary.
Oh, okay.
And it's a tremendous amount of fun. The film is fun. It also has like a brain in its head, something to say, and it's also a very like it's like well acted and well shot, and the movie got a standing O.
Nice.
Like the
Got
only
a standing O.
Yeah, it's the only movie that got a standing ovation at the show, at the festival. So I highly recommend it. I don't know when it's coming out. I think Brawl out already? Did it come out?
Brawl?
Brawl,
Brawl and
yeah.
Cell Block 99. I think it's available on video on demand. Last time.
Oh, okay, yeah. So definitely go check that out. And Bodied, if it goes on VOD or comes out on video on Blu-ray, or if it goes to theaters, definitely go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's not. People think 8 Mile when they see it and they kind of like groan. It's not. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it.
That was the trailer you showed me that started off with like the nerdy guy.
Yeah, the nerdy guy
getting ripped apart,
getting destroyed. Yeah,
yeah. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, but it's also like it manages to hit all the right notes with like commentary, fun, drama, it's just like it's a kind of like a cinematic experience. It's really not meant to be like down, dirty, and gritty. It's kind of meant to be a little surreal. The whole thing is meant to be surreal. So so that's Bodied. I got to meet one of the actresses from the movie. She's really funny, really great. And that's the thing about these films. Like a lot of these people are here for the movies, and then they just go out afterwards. They go to the highball, and there's events and stuff, and you get to meet a lot of the people in the movies that you just saw, which is I feel like that's the only place that's like that. TIFF is not like that. Like the Toronto International Film Festival is not really like that. But here, it is. It's pretty great.
That was actually shown at TIFF. Bodied.
Was. I think Brawl was as well. A lot of these movies were.
Brawl was. Nader was there, right?
Nader.
Did he meet Vince Vaughn? I think he met Vince Vaughn.
He might have. Yeah, he might have.
Mentioned he did. Our buddy Nader. Bodied. The only thing I'm looking at right here is initial release September 7th, 2017. I don't know what that means.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It might be available like on video on demand or something along those lines.
Right.
iTunes, whatever.
Right.
So.
Have a look and
see if you can find it.
Yeah.
We'll also in the description for the podcast. We'll also put the trailers for all these films because some of them are. I know for sure the Cell Block 99. Not Cell Block.
Yeah,
Brawl.
Yeah.
That trailer is really good. Bodied one killed me.
Yeah,
it's just so good.
That trailer is it's pretty brutal.
They're definitely Red Band trailer, or at least the
Bodied one.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was.
Does
Red
he
Band.
swear?
I think.
I think so. Maybe.
I think
maybe it is Red Band.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, so the next one on my list here is Gerald's Game. Gerald's Game is out on Netflix
It is
already.
Yeah, I've got that on my queue,
so
actually.
they debuted it at the festival, and this movie was really good. It's like, honestly, this is the year of Stephen King.
By the way, is this in any particular order?
No.
Okay, this is that's what I was.
Although I'm saving the two that I really want to talk about for last.
Oh,
but
gotcha,
other than that,
gotcha.
these.
Okay,
these
I wasn't
ones
sure
are
if you were ranking them or anything.
No. Gerald's Game is based on a Stephen King novel, and a lot of people saying it's unfilmable because a lot of what happens in someone's head. So it's kind of like, but they found a really great way to film it, and they got two tremendous actors. They're very, very good. Bruce Greenwood and
Carla Gugino.
Thank you. Yeah, Carla Gugino. And at a festival where they're showing primarily horror, science fiction, fantasy, and a festival where they're always pushing the envelope, whether it's violence or like other like gore, or even like basically like a lot of the films at the festival are films that a lot of people would cringe at. Like it's a lot of like strangeness. There could be a lot of strangeness at these movies, but a lot of violence. The most cringe-worthy moment at the show is in Gerald's Game. Gerald's Game has a scene in which I was just like, the entire theater, which was packed, was just like shrinking in their seats and shrieking while the scene was happening. And you know what I just found the other day? I found Netflix released a YouTube video of the Netflix staff reacting to the scene in Gerald's Game.
No
so
way.
Random like Netflix staff are sitting there, and it's all cut together really nice. It's like a promo video for the movie, but they're reacting to that scene, and it is like,
I'm so terrified to watch this right now.
Oh,
because I really
God.
want to watch it. I do like
Oh no, it's
both of them.
dude, no,
Gugino,
like
but
here's the thing. violence without context has no effect. The reason this one is so cringeworthy is because you care about the outcome, right? You care, like you want this person to succeed, and they've done a really good job at establishing those characters, especially when it's pretty much a 2-person show. It's a play,
Yeah.
right? Pretty much.
Also, I want to correct myself. I keep saying Cugino. It's actually Gugino.
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 Yeah.
My
Gugino.
apologies.
Yeah.
I thought I was wrong on that after the first time. I was like, wait a minute.
This is definitely the year of Stephen King, Gerald's Game. There's another film that I saw there, which was also good, but not like rave-worthy good, which was 1922 with Thomas Jane, who was not wearing any shoes at any point during this thing. He was just like shoeless the entire time. He comes up on stage barefoot. He's a weird dude.
So, okay, all right, hold on. I want to back up. So, I mentioned on the podcast before, I worked for DreamWorks, and at some point, Thomas Jane came to DreamWorks, and he was screening a 3D film that he put together, which was actually, I can't remember the name of it, but it was an interesting film. It was kind of cool.
Right.
And when he was doing it, he didn't have any shoes on, and I just thought it was weird. And he was like kind of rubbing his feet, and I was like, that's kind of weird. In hindsight, I think I shook his hand. Anyways. So I thought that was kind of
Jane feet.
I've never watched these. No, I like them in films, not that much. But no, like so. So, anyways, I thought that was weird, and I've had that in my head since 2010. I think I actually saw this film, and you didn't mention to me when you were talking about 1927.
1922.
So, sorry, 1922.
Yeah.
That's also a good year.
Yeah. Both good
you didn't
years.
mention to me about the feet thing. That he
yeah.
You didn't mention that to me until this moment.
Yeah.
But it was funny. So I've had that carried around with me. And when we were I'm going to jump into Comic-Con. We were at one of the booths. I can't remember the name of it. When they were selling the John Carpenter books. Stone something? Storm King Productions.
Yeah.
Storm King
Oh,
Productions.
the guy told us the story about him going to dinner
Exactly.
with Tom Jane.
So Thomas Jane was doing books with them, and he mentioned that, and it blew my friggin' mind because I'm like, wait a minute, is this a thing? He's like, yeah, Tom hates shoes. And then he talked to somebody behind him. He's like, hey, this guy met Tom. He met Tom? Yeah, he met Tom. What about his feet thing? I was like, oh my god, like Thomas Jane doesn't like wearing shoes. So now that you just mentioned this to me now, like that, oh my god, it's connecting so many dots.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so he was definitely he's a man of consistency.
Good
not wearing any shoes. But yeah, 1922, Gerald's Game, The Dark Tower, It. There's and I'm missing some stuff. There's a TV show coming out called Castle Rock. And the list just keeps going and going. Like this year is the year of Stephen King. Yeah. Gerald's Game, right up there. Very, very good.
Sweet.
Definitely check it out. I mean, there's one cringeworthy moment, but it's not really a gory film at all, and it's a character-driven film primarily. And Bruce Greenwood, I'm a huge fan of his. 13 Days is one of my favorite films. Below by David Twohy, another movie I love him in. He puts in a great performance no matter what movie he's in.
Yeah.
And I got to meet him there, and that was just like, I'm like, holy shit. And he is, can we just say this? The man spends most of this movie in his boxers, and he's an older dude. He is in tip-top shape.
Oh, yeah?
My God, putting people to shame. This man is in tip-top shape. Couldn't believe it. He's horribly good-looking in real life.
Yeah.
And, I just, I hope I'm half the man this guy is at his age, because he's really well put together. So yeah, I got to meet him. He was very, very sweet. He was heading out to the front of the lobby there, and I don't normally like run to stop like people unless I'm like really kind of like fanboy out. This one was one where I'm like, I'm gonna kind of have to chase him.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Mr. Greenwood, and he turned around. He was super nice, and it was great. I got a picture. It was great to meet him. And, I told him about 13 Days. And you know what I forgot to tell him about? I forgot to tell him about Batman Under the Red Hood. I should have mentioned it. Bruce Greenwood does
Batman?
He was Batman.
You're right. Oh,
yeah,
shit. I didn't know that.
I feel so stupid now. I should have said that because that would have blown his mind.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd just been like, wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned that. Although it is Fantastic Fest, so I think maybe other people would would mention that as well.
Probably.
Because Batman Under the Red Hood, I think, is one of the best. I mean, I think
Animated ones.
best animated Batman films ever. I think it's one of the best Batman films ever. Period. I think, but that's a different podcast.
Yeah.
Gerald's Game. Go see it.
I wanted to jump back because I did like this movie. It's kind of worth checking out, I think. Dark Country was the film that I was talking about that Thomas Jane directed.
Oh,
that was
Dark
back in
Country.
2009, so
Yeah.
it has no connection aside from Thomas Jane, but I wanted to give that shout
Interesting.
out. Interesting film, really cool. So check it out.
Cool. Next one is Mom and Dad. Now, this movie is starring Nicolas Cage and who? Oh gosh, the girl from Hellboy, Selma Blair.
Selma Blair, yeah.
Now you feel like it's directed by the guy who did Crank. Half of the team that did Crank and half of the team that did Ghost Rider.
Brian Taylor,
that's his name.
Brian Taylor. I thought that was their name.
So this was a midnight showing, and the premise is pretty simple. It's about a suburban area where there's a family of four. Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair being the mom and dad, and a signal comes through televisions that basically drives everyone in the town to all parents to viciously murder their children, and only their children. So it is a weird concept for a film, and Brian Taylor, I think, nails the tone of the movie. It's a dark comedy horror film. Like, I'd say it's a dark comedy, dark thriller. Yeah. Right? A dark comedy thriller, sorry. And Selma Blair is actually really good in this movie. She's super physical. Like, she's like, she actually looks like she could hurt somebody. Like, I don't know. She's in great shape or something, but she just looks like she's going for it. So I was really surprised by her performance. But the Cage. He takes the cake. Man, he is completely unhinged. Like, in this movie. And Brian Taylor takes full advantage of Cage's absolute lunacy. There is a scene between Nicolas Cage and a pool table. That's all I'll say about it. But holy shit. It's like a scene that people were talking about at the festival for like the longest time.
Oh my god.
So it's a really sort of like darkly comic horror film. He rides the line between being sort of like the grotesqueness of like parents killing their children. So he goes far, but just not over the edge. Okay. And not to put you off. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But he shows you some shit. And it's funny because in the Q&A, Brian Taylor's like, yeah. I'm kind of tone deaf, as you guys probably all know, because I think he gets accused a lot of being tone deaf. And actually, I think this movie's tone is fucking spot on. Yeah. Like, I think he might be right about his other. I haven't seen Crank, but I have seen Ghost Rider movie, and that was something. Spirit of Vengeance. That was something. And I got to meet Brian Taylor and the young co-star, the one who plays the younger brother. Yeah. And he was super nice, and Brian Taylor is super nice. And Grant Morrison makes a random cameo in the film.
No way.
Because Brian Taylor's working on Happy, which is a TV show based on a Grant Morrison comic book. Oh. And the trailer just came out for the show, and I think it's going to start airing soon. And he had to fly out the next day back to New York to shoot more episodes. Sweet. So he was super nice, and we were talking about movies and stuff like that. Again, like having drinks, talking about movies. It's the only place I feel like this would ever happen is Fantastic Fest. Yeah, so, yeah. Mom and Dad, really funny. Let's put it this way: I got my wife to see this movie, and she actually kind of enjoyed it. And she doesn't like horror films, so. So the last two here I want to talk about and put a special emphasis on. The first one is called Anna and the Apocalypse. And this is a horror zombie Christmas musical. All of those things are really just putting really like the fun back in like the zombie genre, because a lot of it's been kind of like it's fucking downer. Yeah, right? Yeah. The Walking Dead's kind of a downer.
The Walking Dead is drilling that into the ground. Like not that it's intended. A bad show.
Huh? I don't know. Ground coming out of the ground. I don't know.
I would if I said drilling it out of the ground, that would have been a pun. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking.
It's the beer talking.
It is. No. Fuck. I forgot my train of thought now. Oh yeah. Whatever. I don't watch enough of The Walk. I'm like a season and a bit behind. I haven't even seen Negan go after. I haven't seen the premiere of Negan's entrance. I've only seen it at the end of the last season. So.
I've watched the first season of the show and that was it. I've seen, I've read the books and stuff, and they're really good. This is a totally different take. This is more Shaun of the Dead than it is like The Walking Dead.
Word.
But the big thing about this is that the music is really good. Like, I'm not a big musical fan, but the songs in this are really, really fun and like upbeat and catchy, and they suit the show really, really well. Sorry, the show. I call it a show, but the film.
Technically, people in the film industry call movies shows, so you're all right.
All right. Yeah. I met some of the cast from the film, and they're younger, so they're out there just like partying, like, and having like a great time. So it was a lot of fun. It's a Scottish. I said that right. Scottish film. I have no idea when it's coming out, but when that album comes out, I'm definitely picking it up. So keep an eye out for Anna and the Apocalypse, a really fun horror musical, which really doesn't come along very often, and when it does, they're usually not very good. The last one I wanted to talk about here was, and don't worry, I'm almost done, everyone.
Sorry, man, take your time.
Is a movie called Haunters, The Art of the Scare. It is a documentary about the haunting industry in the United States, meaning like the haunted house industry in the United States. I was really excited to see this movie before the show. So when I got there the first night, my wife wasn't there. I was there by myself, kind of just wandering around. And I saw a guy with a Haunters Art of the Scare t-shirt on. I'm like, hey, like, that's pretty cool. Like, where'd you get that? And, are you excited about seeing this movie? Because, like, I really am. The guy turns around. He's like, really? You're excited? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, that's good because I directed it.
That's like, great.
And he turns his badge over, and it's the director's name is John Schnitzer, and he was just a real nice guy. And we talked for a little while, just talked about, the movie and talked about films in general. And he brought up a lot of people from the haunting industry and a lot of people who are in the documentary. They were there at the festival as well.
Awesome.
And this is one of those things where you see the same people, like, over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, because the show is like 7 to 8 days long. So you come back and you see it. So I saw him, like, all the time. Then he met my wife. And then we had drinks at the bar for an hour and a half. And I got to know him, and he was the sweetest guy.
Yeah.
And now you might think that colors my opinion of the documentary, but my wife hadn't met him, and she saw the documentary. She really liked it. It is basically it's funny, it's unsettling, it's heartwarming, it's all of these things. Because it's actually showing a lot of the different haunts that happen around the States, and some of them are in the new uprising of extreme haunts. Like the ones where you go in and you get manhandled and waterboarded and like tied to things and putting tarantulas on your face and forcing... yeah, dude. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Like in New York, there's...
That's crazy.
There's one called Blackout.
Yeah.
And that one, you get waterboarded. Literally get waterboarded in there. And he spends a lot of time at a place called McCaney Manor. I think that's what it's called. And there's no safe word there. And it's like a 4-hour ordeal.
Oh my God.
Dude, and there's video from the sessions that, from the event, like when people go through.
Yeah.
It is so unsettling. It's demeaning. It's frightening. People throwing up. People are passing out. One guy has a heart attack. Like, it's...
No way.
Bonkers. It's completely fucking bonkers, right? So he creates this really nice framing device for the entire documentary that makes it very interesting because it creates a little bit of conflict between a classic haunter and these new age sort of extreme, what they're calling extreme haunts. So I don't want to say too much more about the documentary because I think everyone should definitely see it, even if you're not really into Halloween. It's a window into the I guess like the strangeness of humanity, because people still go to these things. They go like, and why? And it tries to talk about why people take a shot at Why?
Why do you want to like scare the bejesus out of you?
Yeah. Why you want to subject yourself to that kind of torture?
This is torture. It's torture. That's absolute torture. Waterboarding is torture.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people in the document, like Jason Blum is in there, like talking about films, and there are a lot of folks in there. But yes, it is a great documentary. It also got an encore, which means there's a couple of open slots.
Yeah.
Where movies that have got great fan reaction get played again. Wow. So it got an encore. It got played again. So it's not just me that loved it. A lot of people at the show loved it, and everyone I think a lot of people I'm trying to promote this because I think it's gonna fly under the radar for the most part. It's out, I think it's out on Blu-ray now. It came out early October, and seek it out, buy it. It's got great cover art too, a lot of great cover art, and it's a wonderful documentary, really well made.
Awesome.
So
that's cool.
So definitely check that one out, and that is the highlights. Lowlights, really quick. Lowlights being stuff I didn't really like. So one I flat out just couldn't figure out and did not like at all. I saw a 4K remaster of Takashi Miike's Ichi the Killer.
That's a pretty famous film.
I don't know what, like to this day, I have no idea what I watched. It was really off. I just thought it was super off-putting. A lot of women just getting completely annihilated in this film, beat up, punched, sliced in half, raped. It's just torture, a lot of torture in the movie. The titles are written in semen.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like a...
No,
really.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. It's a very strange movie, and it's really long too. It's just the one thing I will say about the movie is that I feel like the lead assassin character, I can't remember his name. Itchy. Well, no, he's not. He's not Itchy. The guy on the cover. The guy on the cover. He dresses with these crazy multicolored shirts and a purple long coat, and he's got scars going up the side of his face. He looks exactly like the Heath Ledger Joker. Yeah. And he's psychotic. So it's. I feel like maybe the connection's already been made somewhere, but I haven't looked it up or anything. But there's an obvious parallel between him and Heath Ledger. So Itchy the Killer. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. If someone can explain it to me why that movie is so well liked, then please, I'd be happy to listen. But yeah, on first viewing, not a fan.
No,
it's very, very.
You
strange.
lost me at jizz in the credits. I was like, no thanks.
Yeah,
I don't want to even see that in the credits.
Yeah, it wasn't jizz on the credits. The credits were written in jizz.
That's what I mean. Somebody,
there weren't credits there and then semen thrown on it.
No, they took it and they're like, all right, let's fix this so that it's no, no, thank you,
no, thank you,
no, thank you.
So the next one is that kind of it wasn't that I didn't like it. It just kind of fell flat. It was a movie called Downsizing with Matt Damon. And that was the closing film where they managed to shrink people.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah. And it's the only thing I'll say about it is that it's got good ideas, but it doesn't stick to one. It tries to take a step in every direction: political satire, science fiction, drama, and social commentary. All of this stuff, it kind of takes a step in, and it just doesn't commit to one or the other. So it just kind of feels all over the place.
Right.
Honorable mentions. I just kind of shit all over Takashi Miike's Ichi the Killer, but he also had another movie, his 100th film, which is Blade of the Immortal. A lot of fun, probably too long, but if you liked 13 Assassins, you'll like this movie. Samurai film based off of a manga, and a lot of just a really fun fantasy samurai sort of manga driven film. Exactly what you would picture in your head is probably what the movie. The movie is probably exactly what you would picture in your head. A lot of slicey dicey, one guy versus 300 people, and him just ripping into them, and great photography, great fight scenes. Probably just too long. You can only see someone slash people in half for so long before it starts.
You can see it for a while.
Yeah,
I love me some long ass fight scenes.
So yes, that's my entire Fantastic Fest diatribe I don't even know what that word means, but I threw it on there anyway.
Did you look up what it's supposed to mean?
No, I have no idea.
You could have literally said any word. You could have picked a word out of the English dictionary.
Yep.
And not known the meaning of it. And you're saying it.
Yep. And I did. And I have no idea what it means still.
You should probably not do that. You should probably look it up.
Yeah.
That could have been like something horrible you just said.
That has happened before. That was a major edit. It has happened before. I had no idea what it meant, and I said it, and you were like, "What?"
Oh my god.
That is recorded somewhere, and maybe we'll release it sometime in the future.
When we've actually gotten some good mercy, but like, or some not good mercy.
Mercy.
Lamborghini mercy.
Anyway, so
some
yes,
other
I'm
time.
I'm like burnt out from that. I feel like I was doing most of the talking. We should anyway. Fantastic Fest. I think we'll try and go next year.
I'm definitely going next year. I put it on my calendar already. I don't care what's happening in September at that point. It's
tons of fun. It's a marathon though, so it's tiring. Getting drunk and having fun versus watching movies, you have to make that choice every day. You have to make that choice because they're showing movies breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like 5 showings a day, something like that. 4 showings a day. So it's there's a choice to be made there. So, but I had a great time.
Nice.
I had a great time.
That's really cool, man. Definitely going next year for sure. I got to see that. So we'll skip over to the next big thing. Topic number 2, New York Comic Con. So we did that, like I said, it was 2 weeks ago. And we did it all 3 days. I think we went kind of midway through Friday. We kind of just used Friday as kind of like a...
Yeah, to scope out what's going on.
See what we want to see. And then did pretty much full days on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is usually a good strategy, I find. Trying to go full hog the first day without really having a lay of the land is really a lot. It's kind of daunting. You don't really know where to go yet. Just taking a day to just kind of like do half day, kind of scope out where you want to see or what you want to see, where everything is, have a lay of the entire floor. Totally something you should do.
Yeah.
I've done that when we were in San Diego. I did that here, and we did it again this year. It's just, to me, it's the way to go.
Yeah,
it makes things a lot easier.
Agreed.
Yeah.
There was getting the tickets to New York Comic Con is like an ordeal in and of itself. It was just kind of you used to get professional passes.
Yeah.
So professional passes were the best because I could just call you when you were in LA. I was in New York. I'm like, hey, those any professional passes left? Yeah, sure. And then you just shipped them over to me.
Yeah. They were. I think they were just like $40 for like all 4 days or something like that. It was like dirt cheap.
It was great, and I didn't have to sit at a computer and hit refresh like 50 times, coordinate purchasing with between 3 different people, and it's just and then register the badges. It's just like they've really locked down the purchase process, which I think is a good thing.
It's a good thing. I think it makes things as fair can be. I'm a big fan of being fair to anybody and everybody about anything. It's just it's general.
Like a blanket statement.
It is. It's a blanket statement. Well, it's a blanket statement if you like being fair, right? I look at it this way. Okay, this is you want to hear this? This is where my fairness worries come from. I always want to be fair to people. It has to do with eating with them. Because I eat like a fucking monster.
Yeah.
You've seen me eat. It's a frightening thing.
Yeah.
If I don't keep an eye...
BBC documentaries based on
You have no idea. I got Bobby Fischer stuff going on in my head when I'm at the dinner table and it's like a sharing or like if it's a sharing thing, I'm keeping an eye on everybody's plate like, all right, we started off with 8 chicken thighs. I have had 1 and there are 7 people at this table. I'm only going to have 1. That is my entire... And that's it. Like I'm rationing like, okay, I get this... It's insane. I am out of my mind.
That's so funny.
So that's why that, like, to me, it's always like, I gotta be fair. It all stems from, like, keep an eye on what everybody else is eating. You don't want to eat everything on the table because you can, and you eat faster than everybody. So, anyways.
Well, you're a big boy.
I'm a big boy.
I just like to see, like, Terminator vision or Predator vision, but, like, Justin vision at like, the dinner table. It's just, like inventorying everything. Like,
it
8
is.
chicken thighs, 6 pieces of bread. A salad bowl and like estimated weight of salad bowl.
If you
get this much of this many grams of salad, this number of chicken breasts.
Next time I eat it like at your family's house or something like that, right? Or
I want you to say everything you're thinking about the dinner table out loud. That's what I want you to do. You just been constantly talking.
I wouldn't stop talking because then, like, okay,
calculating.
Then when I've eaten what I feel is my portion, I'm there. I'm like, all right, are these people slowing down? Mommy hasn't eaten anything in a little while. Oh no, over there, Uckles. Oh, he's going for some more Rogan Josh. Okay, I can't have any more.
You sound like a commentator.
I'm honestly like that's what's going on in my head because I'm always like, I want more food. I want more food. I want more food.
You know what? You remind me of. Like the original, like the '80s Transformers run, there was a combiner named Computron.
Yeah.
And Computron would just be like datum, calculating, laser blast to knock whatever. You know, like he would always just say datum, and he's just like calculating datum. And I just like feel like that's what you are at the table. You're just like analyzing things.
Yeah. So
that'd be great.
Anyways, I respect anybody that can be as fair as possible about anything. Whether it's food or tickets or God knows what else.
I love the food just extends to the rest of your life. That's like
food
fair.
And drink too. Like yeah. Anyways. Consumption of stuff that goes in my tummy. So where do we go? Oh, that was from tickets. I missed the reason we didn't get the Pro Pass this year is because I missed the professional registration. Then we bought the tickets, and then they opened Pro Reg up again for a second wave.
Oh,
and that's
no way.
when I reached out to my buddy Kai, who met us in New York, and said, "Hey, buddy, you want to come to Comic-Con?" He's like, "Yeah, I've never been." So that's why he's also in the industry.
Right.
Well.
Yeah. That's
he worked
right.
with me at DreamWorks as well. So
yeah, we had a lot of fun. Roaming the con and like going out for drinks and stuff after.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, you kind of have to measure how often you go out because these are like all day sort of things. But this time around it was much more calm and like way more like a chill event because since I'd been to so many, and you've been to a lot. You went to San Diego like every year, right?
Yeah.
When you were in LA.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to like break ourselves on the con. When I felt like I was getting tired or whatever, I just pull the chute. We're going to the bar and having a drink. Like
agreed. We didn't really push
overdo it.
No, we didn't push it. We didn't really stand in a lot of lines or anything.
Yeah,
like that
was the one thing I didn't do this year. Like there weren't a lot of panels I wanted to see, but we only saw one.
We only saw one.
And the first panel I was going to do was the DC Metal panel, and I got in line and I looked around. I'm like, I'm too old for lines, and I just kind of left.
Yeah, agreed.
I just left, and anything that had a line in it, I didn't. I'm just like a curmudgeon. I'm turning into like a real. Oh man, all these lines. Why do I have to wait? Yeah, like that kind of thing.
I get it. I mean, it's got to be something I really want to see to want to stand in a line for.
Absolutely.
The only thing I not regret. Well, yeah, I guess regret not getting up early for was the Justice League VR game thing.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad about that because it was kind of a bender the night before, and I didn't get up really like on time, and then you showed up at the apartment, and then I was taking
But you know what though? Like even by the time I got up, I think it was still too late. I think we should have been there already lined up, like at 9:30.
That is fucking ludicrous.
No,
but you can see the VR like thing on the monitors outside, and it looked fucking cool.
It looked really neat.
Yeah, it's like you were like an Amazon like slicing like
parademons and stuff.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it, or at least it looked like it.
It looked like it. Yeah,
got to play it at some point.
A couple things. I remember on the first day, we roaming Artists Alley, which is the area of the convention that's kind of mostly just like writers and artists sitting at booths, and doing sketches and commissions and all of that stuff. We got to meet Patrick Gleason, who I'm a huge fan of Patrick Gleason's because I was out of comics for a long time, but then in like the 2000, in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, I was brought back by Green Lantern, like Green Lantern Rebirth, but then the Green Lantern Corps, the book, the Green Lantern Corps, when that came out, I was a huge fan of that, and Patrick Gleason was the penciler on Green Lantern Corps, and his art, he does the definitive Kilowog, like in my mind. When I see his Kilowog, I'm like, yes, that is what Kilowog should look like. Every other interpretation, I just think like pales in comparison to his. But he did such a wonderful job on that series, and like his art was a big reason why I loved that series.
Yeah. And
so we got to talk to him. He was really nice. He was in the middle. I think
he was not happy.
Yeah, I think he was. I think a lady beside us had asked for a sketch. I don't think it was a commission. I think it.
I don't know. It was pretty detailed.
Yeah, maybe it was a
I think
commission.
it was probably a commission.
Yeah.
And if it was a commission, that might make even more sense as to why he's just like, you're paying me already, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's so funny because we kind of stand. I was just kind of like looking at they usually have binders and prints and stuff around them that they're selling. So I was having a look and this lady was really kind of like staring at him drawing what we think now is a commission.
Yeah.
And like I kind of looked over and he looked up and just like volunteered conversation.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, hey guys, like how's it going? Whatever.
Yeah.
And I took the opportunity to speak to him and talk to him about the Green Lantern Corps. And one of the things he said was he loved that gig, because it never got boring. He got to make up a bunch of designs for all of the different aliens that are in the Green Lantern Corps. And he said he didn't do commissions one year, he was saying, but someone came over and said, hey, look, I really would love like commission for you. He's like, oh, I'm not really doing them, sorry. And he's like, what would it be of if you wanted it? He's like, Stel, which is one of the Green Lantern Corps members that's kind of like, it's just like a robot.
Robot, yeah.
And at one point, the robot like kind of falls apart, and he's like using the ring to carry all of his pieces like together, but he's still like functioning. And because it was Stel, he said, yeah, I'll do it, because like nobody asked for Stel.
Yeah,
like, Stel was like something that he like had a huge part in creating, and Bzzd, like, which was like the bee,
wasp,
the wasp, and like all that stuff. And it's just it was a funny story coming from him. Really nice guy. Although, yes, I think the girl who was getting the commission or the sketch was kind of giving us the evil eye, because he had stopped and like was talking to us like about this stuff. So that was a lot of fun. It was great to meet him, and we also met I'm a big fan of this guy's art as well, Tom Mandrake. I just geeked out big time because he did he did a lot of series that I loved, just particularly the Martian Manhunter series from the late 90s, I think.
Late 90s, yeah.
And he did a book called Superman, Batman versus Vampires and Werewolves. It's as wonderful as it sounds. Let's put it that way. He's got really gothic art, and he had a lot of stories to tell as well. And so it was really great to just like meet these guys, and that's what I love about Comic-Con. Just meeting people that whose art you come back to all the time. Yeah.
We also met Gabriel Rodriguez.
We did, yeah, at the IDW booth.
Yep. He was, well, if you don't know, he's the illustrator for Lock and Key.
Yeah.
He was a super nice guy.
Yes, he was. One thing you guys should know is that we will be doing an episode on Lock and Key.
Yeah.
And Justin, you've already blew through the whole series.
Yeah.
I was reading it when it came out, but I never finished it. But I recently obtained the Master Edition. Master Edition, yeah. These oversized hardcovers, beautifully created. And one of the things that Gabriel Rodriguez mentioned to us, or one of the things I noticed, like when you get a hardcover of a book you love, sometimes they're just kind of designed by committee. It's just like they slap a cover on and some extras and stuff. And it's not that it's bad. It's just it's obvious that there wasn't a ton of time put into the design.
Yeah.
These Master Editions, and I'm pointing sort of over there because they're in the bookcase, but these Master Editions are absolutely gorgeous. They are beautiful books, obviously designed with love, and it's no surprise when Gabriel Rodriguez had told us that he had complete creative control over the design of the Master Editions.
Yeah.
So it makes 100% sense, and it looked like something he was very proud of. And it absolutely shows.
Yeah, I think so.
And you're going to be picking up the Master Editions as well, right?
I was just looking it up on Amazon because I'm going to visit my my sister and brother-in-law in DC over the course of next weekend, and Amazon.com is better than Amazon.ca.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm going to get it shipped over there. But yeah, I've been eyeing that for a while.
By the way, you're driving, right?
Driving, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the three hardcover Master Editions. Like, if you have to jump on a plane with that, it's
heavy.
It's not it's not,
dude.
The weight is not trivial.
So last year for Christmas, we did like a Secret Santa thing, right?
Yeah.
And Nisha's sister got me, and she bought me a couple of comics, a couple of like hardcover trades.
Yeah.
She was so pissed at me when she gave it to me.
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm never doing this again."
muling comics over the border.
Heavy, man.
Yeah,
These hardcover trades are fucking heavy. So.
Absolutely, and these are oversized, right?
Yeah.
So they are particularly heavy, which is great because it's great to read at home. It just like feels substantial and
right.
Gabriel Rodriguez, very nice guy. He has a new book coming out called Sword of Ages, which we got a preview copy of. He signed it. It's an equally gorgeous book, totally different color scheme.
Yep.
Whereas Lock and Key was very gothic and sort of like muted colors.
Yeah. He's also the writer on it too. Or did you mention that?
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Gabriel Rodriguez is writing and drawing and is the creator of Sword of Ages.
Yeah.
And his art in here is just as good. It's totally the opposite. Far-flung, colorful science fiction fantasy. So I'm just looking. I'm paging through it right now. You could probably hear that.
Yeah.
But
it's a neat preview edition too.
It is.
It's like the first few pages are colored. The second ones are almost sketches. I don't know what you call it. And then the latter part's even more sketchy.
Yeah, and it looks like kind of like a King Arthur thing here. I'm seeing this character sort of rosters: Avalon, Merlin, Lancer,
King
Tristan.
Arthur.
Yeah, hey, can't go wrong.
No, man.
We had a great time there. IDW in particular just produces great stuff. Obviously, the Transformers
books are good.
Are great. We're both huge. My entire family are huge. 80s G1 Transformers fans. So the IDW stuff is stuff that harkens back to that age.
And the books, like the quality of the books, are super high.
They're really nice,
like
right?
really good quality books. The whole IDW Transformers collection, they had a bunch of them, and they're top notch.
Gorgeous.
Really,
IDW produces great hardcovers.
Yes.
Along with Archaea, which we'll talk about in a bit. Like that's what the Mouse Guard.
Oh yeah.
Remember that Mouse Guard print that we saw there? Holy fuck, that thing was. Brandon Peterson, I think his name is, the creator and artist. Just a fucking phenomenal print. I would love to have that like as the back of a bar, the backsplash of a bar or whatever, instead of like a mirror. And it's just an absolutely gorgeous print.
Yeah.
Archaea does a wonderful job producing their books as well. So,
absolutely.
So we also saw something in Artist Alley. I just thought I'd mention this. Not really a lot to talk about here. Shirtless Bear Fighter.
Yes. Oh, we should have bought that.
Yeah, we should have bought it, and we didn't, and I'm not sure why. They had the first couple issues on sale, and it's literally a guy. Basically, think of a more trim Zangief-looking dude. Yeah, but he looks like a guy I used to work with. That's the thing. A guy I used to work with, he's a big dude, bearded, short hair, but big dude. And here's the funny thing, I worked with him, and he would, in conversation, we had this conversation before, that he thinks he could take a bear. I've literally had that exact conversation with him, which is why I stopped at this booth. I'm like, holy shit, that's so-and-so
Did you
from
send
work.
him that,
I didn't send it to him. I sent it to a bunch of other people I worked with. I should send it directly to him.
Yeah.
I sent it to a bunch of other folks I worked with. I have a group chat with them. And I'm like, hey, I found so-and-so's biography, and it's a picture of shirtless. What is it? Shirtless bear fighter.
Shirtless bear fighter.
And it's so funny. I just couldn't believe that I've had this exact conversation with him, and the fact that this guy looks exactly like him, and it just looks like a lot of fun. So
it looks like a lot of fun. The art's quite good, actually.
It is.
I was really impressed with it. There was this one panel where he was suplexing a bear, and he was completely naked, so they actually blurred out his junk.
Yeah.
And as he's suplexing him back, it actually blurs it out like it's flopping
like an elephant.
in the wind.
It's like an elephant trunk flopping in the wind.
So crazy.
It's just kind of silly and fun.
It's like Dan Bilzerian on steroids is what the character of Shirtless Bear Fighter looks like.
Did you have anything else? What else you got?
Go back to the IDW booth because we got to talk about the Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, Dark Horse and Was it IDW that was plagued?
Both of them.
Plagued by this.
I think there was like a triangle. You had Dark Horse, you had IDW, and then right in the middle of them, just offset, was the Dragon Ball Z streaming booth.
Jeez. Yeah.
So I don't know what company it was that was running this promotion, but basically what it was you can go into a booth, you would scream at the top of your lungs like you're powering up, and then they slap a Snapchat filter on top of it, which was
like fire,
really, it was fire and stuff, but it was garbage. It was also really, really bad.
Yeah, it's
Snapchat has a lot of really good logic into how it does its filters. This was just stand here and don't move, otherwise you're gonna look silly. You're gonna look silly anyway.
Yeah.
But everybody would go into this booth and scream at the top of their lungs like a Dragon Ball Z character powering up.
Yeah.
To achieve their power level, I don't know. Anyways, these guys would go in and just start screaming. They'd get videotaped. God, I'm old.
Videotaped?
They'd get video.
What is that?
No, I know. Yeah. They'd get recorded doing that, and then they'd show them the video with the Snapchat filter thrown on top of them with their power or whatever, their chi. And it's kind of a cool concept, but the downside of that is if you're the booth next to it, the entire time during the con, and this place had a friggin' lineup the whole time.
Yeah.
The entire time, all you're having to deal with is people screaming bloody murder for at least a minute straight.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then up comes the next one, and it's just...
screaming. And, like, what he's doing is, like, that's like a... These guys were screaming so loud.
Yeah.
And the people at the IDW booth, I remember, where they're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't...
The whole time, just like... Yeah.
So it'd be like browsing at IDW, and all you hear is, and I turn around like, what the fuck is that? And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it.
The first time I heard it, I was so like confused.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? Like somebody got their leg chopped off.
Yeah.
Like that's what it sounded like, dismemberment.
I thought it was like a cosplay thing, like somebody like was dressed as Goku and was doing that for somebody to record or something like that. No, they were doing it in a huge line of people, and then one after the other gets to do it.
There was a lot of people in that line, and like not Comic-Con's finest moment.
I didn't think so.
I wasn't a huge fan of that. That's kind of they were just plagued by that, and it was happening every day. It didn't happen on Sunday. I think it happened Friday, Saturday. I don't remember hearing it on Sunday, but maybe I just heard so much of it that I couldn't hear it anymore. It's like when you're in a room, it smells like farts, but if you're there for like an hour, you can't smell.
Smells like room.
It just smells like air. You know,
that's your body being like, all right,
we just need to adapt. Mother Nature, adapt. Darwinism, adapt or die.
Adapt or die. Oh my god. All right.
Yeah. So another thing you had here, the Alex Ross booth, I wanted to talk a little bit about.
I almost forgot about that.
Because the years I went, the booth was much smaller. Now it's dressed up like a art exhibit.
It really is. Yeah,
it's like a art exhibit at a museum.
Yeah. Usually, like in San Diego, it was usually just like a square-sized booth.
Yeah.
And it didn't have like the rows of stuff. You just kind of walk around, see his art, and then you could buy some if you want. They had things kind of up in the back, but that was it.
Yeah.
This was way better laid out.
Yeah, this was laid out like I said, like an exhibit, and I think Ross is kind of playing to the art enthusiast,
absolutely,
like the fine art enthusiast. So that's kind of the motif that was there for the booth, and specifically, obviously his comic superhero stuff is incredible, and like I don't think anyone listening to this podcast doesn't know who Alex Ross is or what he's done. Marvel's Kingdom Come, Justice, like all these wonderful books, all the wonderful like pinups and stuff. But what he's done recently that I was just literally melting for was he did, I think it was 6 images for the Universal monster films. Invisible Man, Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, Creature. That's 5.
Did he do? I think he did 2 Frankensteins. He did one for Bride of
Frankenstein. Oh, he did Bride.
Yeah,
he did Bride as well. Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, so 6.
These things, the way they were presented side by side, I have never wanted to spend ludicrous amounts of money in my life more than in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm a very controlled shopper, I would say, unless it comes to sale games on digital sale games on PSN.
You splurge.
I just fucking buy like $6 here, $12 here. Anyway, but posters, those, and they were like $700 or whatever, something like that. They are absolutely gorgeous, and one day I will have all of them.
One day
I will have all of them. They're absolutely gorgeous. Great booth, and they actually they were selling, or they will be selling, a Blu-ray of like the Wolfman and stuff with the Alex Ross painting as the cover. I'd be interested in picking that up, but yeah, Alex Ross booth, very very cool. Interesting evolution for that booth.
I agree. It just looks really good.
Like,
all of everything's like, I think the cheapest thing that you could buy there is like $100, maybe.
Yeah, it's all really expensive, and Alex Ross never himself like shows up.
Never.
It kind of sucks, but
it does.
I mean, it is what it is. He's kind of an institution. Like he's like, I don't think that guy has to do anything new for the rest of his life. He'll just make all of his money at shows like this where people buy his art for exuberant amounts of money. But
Is that an airplane?
That is a helicopter.
That's a helicopter.
Yeah. Or a plane.
It's a prop plane, I think.
Yeah, it's a prop plane. No, it's just some kid outside the window running around with a plane going, keep it down! Keep it down out there. Yeah, so what else you got?
I checked out, there was a pretty quick Sons of Anarchy booth. I
didn't even see that.
It wasn't really, it wasn't a booth, sorry. It wasn't a panel like in one of the rooms where you got to line up for it. You know where, there was this like a classics gaming area towards back. Yep. And then there's a stage with couches and stuff towards, basically that's where they were. There was Theo Rossi and the guy that played Ope.
Opie? Yeah.
Opie, yeah. I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up. But basically they were there. It wasn't anything like crazy. They were just there answering some questions and stuff. Yeah. But my God, like the guy that plays Opie, he is giant.
He's a giant.
Theo Rossi. So I'm 6'1". Theo Rossi is, my guess is he's like maybe 5'9". Theo Rossi. I gotta look up the guy's name, but he's Ryan Hurst. There it is. I wanted to give it because the guy's he seemed really cool. He is probably about 6'6", maybe. Dude's huge. Yeah. He's a very tall dude. Like when he walked by, I was looking up. I was, oh shit, look at this guy.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. He didn't really seem like he wanted to be there, Ryan Hurst. No. He just kind of was, kind of just chilling.
This is Opie?
Yeah, this is Opie. Yeah. Theo Rossi was a little bit more engaging.
Who did Theo Rossi play on the show?
He played Juice, the character Juice.
Can't remember. He's been in movies.
He's been in movies. He was actually just in the Daredevil TV show as well for season 2.
Seen that.
No, wait, no, not Daredevil. He was.
Let me just look this up.
Luke Cage. He was in Luke Cage. The Shades was kind of the nickname that they gave him.
Oh yeah.
You recognize him?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I met him randomly in a hotel. Where was I? I was at one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants, which was in a hotel in LA when some of my friends came to visit. So we were going, and I think I forgot my wallet in the car, so I had to go out and get it. And I'm leaving to the restaurant to go to the car, and I see him there, and I'm like, dude. He's like, hi. It was just him. Nobody else was in the lobby. So I just look at him like, hey, I'm a big fan of yours. He's like, oh, he was just really, really nice. Like, I kept it quick because he was clearly either checking in or checking out. So I'm like, the guy's got things to do. Yeah. But just, quick hello, thank you. You're great. A little small fanboying.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guy was really cool. And he seemed a lot more engaging. They're also big like animal fans too. Like apparently Ryan Hurst is like the guy to, if you want to like train a dog, bring him to him because he'll have the dog like go into the toilet to go to the bathroom.
Doing your laundry.
Do my laundry. Bring me a beer, all that stuff. Yeah. Like your dog would get that down. So apparently he's like the dog whisperer.
The dog whisperer. Yeah, man. Like I even Opie on the show seemed like a guy, man, a few words.
Dude, he was strong silent type. He wouldn't say a lot, but when
he's actually like that. Maybe that's just what he's actually like.
Maybe. He didn't seem, I take back what I said. He didn't seem disengaged. He did just seem quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So anyways, cool. Yeah, I got to check that out. Those guys were all really cool. The VR comics thing, I don't know if there's much to talk about there.
Madefire is this company that does this application online. I think it's a cloud application. I used it a little bit. It's to, you could do comic books and you could do motion comics. And they were promoting sort of VR comics, and we got to throw on the goggles and...
The goggles?
Yeah, the goggles. They actually did something in this case. Yeah, but you look around... The artists had done 360 art.
Yeah.
And you can look around, and they had sound effects for the motion comics and stuff like that. It was actually kind of cool. I liked it. I just don't see how it can catch on, especially when you have interactive media.
Yeah.
For the VR. I like that. I think it's almost like, I don't know how to say it. I think it would be a very niche market.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think there are people, because I would enjoy it. I just don't see it catching on when you have interactable 3D real environments.
Yeah.
And, why would anybody want to look at a 360 piece of art that doesn't really move or interact?
I can see the appeal to it. But the thing is it needs to not be a big honking thing that you got to put on your face and then also put on earphones. Like, it's a lot of setup, and it gets uncomfortable over time.
Well, I mean, that's general though.
That's in general, and that's kind of what I feel about VR right now. Like, it has to get to a point where it is a lot less cumbersome to just pick up and do something. Like, getting in a game, that's one thing, because you're getting up and you're moving around and doing some things and you're interacting with it directly. But just to read something, like, if I want to read something, I pick up my book, that's all I got to do. Yeah. The most straining part about that is having to hold the damn book. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But, like, putting something on your head that you're going to get hot under over time.
Especially to read.
To read, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, that's not going to catch on. If it was something like the Google Glass, which I don't even know if that's still a thing. Yeah. But if it was just something like that just clips on, like, something small, and that's all you really need, that I could see catching on. Yeah. But something that's a full VR headset, nah, I don't know about that. Yeah. It's a cool idea, but I don't think it's going to fly.
Fair enough. I agree. I think it was kind of a novelty. Yeah. Not really going anywhere.
Novelty is a good way to put it.
The Lore is a podcast done by a guy named Aaron Mahnke. And there's a TV show coming out, and they had their huge, they had this weird, like, oddities sort of museum built on the outside. Extremely long line, of course. I didn't go because I'm old and cranky.
Old, crotchety. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really wanted to go, but there's always a huge line to get in there. But I'd heard of Lore, and I never listened to it. But since Comic-Con, I listened to like 20 episodes of Lore.
No way.
Yeah, and they're only about 30 minutes long. Really great stuff. Aaron Mahnke does a good job of taking mythology and lore of our of a bunch of different cultures and telling really sort of creepy stories, but also trying to attribute those stories to trying to answer the question why. Like, why are we telling these stories? Why do we believe in them? Where did they actually come from? Right. So it's almost like a non-fictional mythological explainer, but it also maintains that cool atmosphere of, it's something cool to listen to around, especially around the Halloween season. Sure. I really enjoy it. So if you guys haven't listened to Lore yet and you like that kind of thing, that sort of X-File-ish kind of, but more mythology based, you learn a lot about cultures around the world too. In different time periods and stuff. And I recently listened to one about that takes place in Canada along the St. Lawrence River. Stuff like that. It's cool. So and I only started listening to it after seeing all the promotion they were doing for the Lore TV show at Comic-Con. So nice. Something to look at, something to look forward to if you guys are interested in that sort of thing.
Sweet.
MK 25 years, right?
That's what I was just going to mention. Yep.
Yeah, the only panel that we went to was the Mortal Kombat 25 years of Mortal Kombat panel, which was actually a lot of fun. It was a big ass line, but I'm like, you know what?
This one's worth it.
It was worth it to suppress old man Atul and be like, I'm gonna wait in line for this one because Mortal Kombat's been pretty much a consistent thing in my life since it's come out.
Yeah, and you know what too? I've never seen Ed Boon. I've never seen the Mortal Kombat panels before. All the other ones that we could have gone to, like the DC ones, and Marvel ones. All the people there I'd seen, so that was the other thing too. That also didn't really like. I've seen Jim Lee like a dozen times. Yeah, he's a god in the comic industry, but been there, seen that. Nice guy. Yeah. But something like that. I think that also is what helps draw us to and accept standing in line for a little.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it also when I said that Mortal Kombat's been there for most of my life, actually there was a long time I never played Mortal Kombat. I played Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, skipped everything else up until Mortal Kombat 9. But when Mortal Kombat 9 and then MKX came out, and then obviously Injustice and then Injustice 2, I found that these guys were making like really great fighting games, fully featured fighting games. Yeah. $80 Canadian, $60 American worth fighting games. Yeah. Like you were not getting ripped off. No, they have DLC, but the game itself is so fully featured.
Yeah, you don't need the DLC.
You don't need the DLC to enjoy the game. And the game is so wildly packed with stuff. It'll take you so long to
challenges and gear and all kinds of stuff.
Well, for Injustice, gear, but like MKX had the crypt.
Same thing, the crypt.
And it was just like, it's just amazing. It's like there's so much love that goes into these games, and that's why I really like the developer, which is why I kind of wanted to stay in line and meet some of these guys. Yep. So they had the panel. It was really great. Ed Boon, leading the charge.
Yep.
But a lot of the other folks that had created Mortal Kombat were there, background designers, music designers.
Yeah. We got lucky. One other thing to mention too, because he doesn't work at NetherRealm Studios anymore. I don't know if there was a falling out or something like that.
It sounds like there might have been.
It kind of might have been, yeah. But John Tobias was there as well, who was the other co-creator.
Yeah, and artist. Yeah, he did a lot of the artwork.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's actually the second part of the character Noob Saibot, because Noob Saibot is just Boon and Tobias backwards.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was there, which was kind of a big deal. But we also got lucky too, because by the time we got in through the line, which is again big ass line, they're like standing room only. I'm like, shit! So we're standing at the back, and then all of a sudden, some girl comes up to us and she's like, "We got a couple of seats that are in the reserve seating. If you want to go down there." I'm like, "Huh, reserve seatings?" Sweet. And then we walked down, and we were there, and lo and behold, we're also seated completely behind like a row of all the other developers and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Developers. There was the dude that does the combat casts, or what do they call it?
I can't remember his name, but I've watched so many of these combat casts with him and two other folks that talk about new features, if there are patches coming out, especially if there's a new game coming out, character reveals, super reveals, fatality reveals, all of that. They treat their community with a lot of respect and put all this content, and he's the guy that does it. Yeah. And he's featured heavily, and it was just fun to meet him in person.
He was a nice guy, very nice guy.
Yeah, just to hear him talk about what they have coming up next and some improvements they're going to be making to the show that they've got. So it was cool to meet him. And we got really dope, like they get a lot of swag there, a couple of free previews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we got a Mortal Kombat keychain, and I'm like, I will actually use this.
I've got it sitting in my office right now. I got it because I took it out of my bag. It's in my office. I'm going to put it on a keychain.
Yeah, I got to do that soon as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Totally worth going to. Definitely enjoyed it.
There was a couple of neat stories that came out of it. There was one in particular that made me laugh. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head now, though. If I remember, I'll go to it. But the one thing that I took away from that was, I thought, it would have been nice to ask them this question, but the question line was...
Oh, man.
It was...
Can we talk about the question line for a second?
Talk about the question line, because
I would have loved to ask a question there, but the question line filled up really quick, which is cool. I like that. I like that people are engaged and they want to talk. But the questions that came out were questions like the one guy...
Why did you take Noob Saibot out of the game?
Why isn't Noob Saibot in the game? And I'm like, I feel like I can appreciate the fanship of this game, because I'm a fan of the game, right? But the thing is, it wasn't an MKX or the next MK. It wasn't a game panel. Right. It was a panel about the creation of the game.
Exactly.
It wasn't promoting a game.
Yeah.
A lot of the questions were fan specific questions, like, why is Noob Saibot not in this game? And why did you make this decision in this game? And it was just like very specific, and I feel like even like Ed Boon, like answering the questions kind of like kept them pretty short. Yeah. And just kind of and that kind of sucks for the people asking them, and I know where they're coming from. I think they just missed the context of the actual panel. Yeah. There was a great question around the violence in the game, and I can't remember the actual question. I just remember Tobias.
I remember this. It was how did the whole controversy around the violence affect you personally? Yeah. And he opened that up to the entire panel, and I thought to your point, that's a great question.
That's a great question. Yeah. And Tobias, sorry, what's his name? It's
John
Tobias. Yeah.
Tobias.
He answered, and he gave a great answer, and he said that, look, like, there was a lot of press about pushing violence on originating from video games and movies and stuff like that. He's like, and he made it very simple. He's like, I think he's from Chicago. They say he's from Chicago. He's like, I'm like, I'm from the hood in Chicago. Like, I lived in a pretty bad hood. The hood was bad before Mortal Kombat came out. We didn't need Mortal Kombat for the hood to be rough. Right, yeah. Right? Yeah. For there to be violence. Yeah. And it was a very, like, succinct, like, answer that made a lot of sense. And I was like, and you get, and with that kind of question, you get, insight into the person. You know, like, and I was hoping, that was pretty much the only one of the questions that was kind of like that. Yeah. The other ones were very, like, kind of surface level questions about, the game and stuff.
Agreed. Yeah.
A missed opportunity,
Completely. But the one question I would have asked them, because to me, like, that whole that entire panel was I would think for a young person, a very inspiring thing to listen to. Because these were guys that came up, they were like 20, 21, or not even. I think they were teenage. They might have been 19 when they must have been 19, maybe even 18 when they were actually working on some of this stuff. Yeah. And then it wasn't until early 20s they hit on Mortal Kombat. Yeah. But like the amount of sacrifice and dedication that they put towards doing something like that, that's the shit I would have liked to hear. Like if somebody went up there and said, this would have been my question, would have been, what would have been what is the biggest piece or the most important piece of advice that you can give to a young person about, aspiring and trying to chase after something that they truly believe in, some kind of dream that they want to put out there and have people enjoy, something like that. Yeah. I would have loved to hear that answer.
Yeah, no, I mean, they really push the boundary in all their stories about essentially just, the stories about the creation of the original game. It's just, they're all like, they're all really good and really inspiring, and like to hear more of that would have been great.
Absolutely.
Would have been great.
Absolutely.
We also hit the Wacom or Wacom booth. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Wacom. They make designer tablets. So the drawing tablets.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to picture in my head how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Wacom.
Wacom. A Wacom booth.
Whack on, whack off. Oh, I've been drinking. I think it's Wake Up.
I think
like
this recording has taken longer than
the
the actual recording time is.
Okay.
And in this time, and the reason for that is that there's been some third party noise, so we've broken whenever there's been noise, and but the problem is we just like kept drinking, so the actual recording period
we keep lining bottles up on the table.
Yeah, so now there are like 4 of these these big bottles on the table, and we're just wrapping up the 4th one now. So things are steadily deteriorating. Anyway, so we went to the Wacom tablet. Wacom tablet.
I'm looking it up. This is ridiculous.
And it was really interesting because my wife had bought me a tablet, which is what I do most of my art on these days, in poster designs and stuff, just for fun. And it was cool because there was a guy using one of their larger tablets there, and I had a question about like a problem I run into all the time, and he kind of gave me this little tutorial on like how to not have that happen. And I asked him a bunch of questions, and he was like really nice, and was gave me some pointers, and hopefully I'm going to apply them to the next piece that I start. So that was interesting, and just the fact that Wacom has like such a huge presence there. Their booth wasn't small.
No,
it was large.
It was quite large. Yeah.
It was very big.
I mean, there's so many artists and creative people walking around.
I guess it makes sense.
Digital art these days is massive. It's absolutely massive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a YouTube video on how to pronounce it, so I don't want to play that.
Yeah, no, let's not.
Oh wait, hold on. Here it is. I think we're good. Hold on. It's sound based.
Just play it.
Fuck it. All right, here we go.
Wacom tablet.
Wacom.
That can't be right.
I think it is actually.
Wacom tablet.
But but that sounds like one of those text to voice synthesizers.
That was a woman, and she worked hard for that one.
How much do you think she got paid for that?
Not enough.
Not enough.
That was definitely not a person. I think. Okay, hold on here. The leading manufacturer of research is that Wacom. It is Wacom. 100%. I'm reading it. Granted, it's Urban Dictionary now, but it's
Urban
proper
Dictionary
noun indicating the name of the current leading manufacturer and researcher of drawing tablets and tablet technology and other products. Wacom.
Whack-a-mole. All right. Anyway, so that's pretty much what I got. Val Kilmer, Doc Holliday cosplay. The only one I stopped to take a picture of because he was amazing. He was walking around. He was walking around not with guns, but with the tin cup.
Yeah, the tin cup
from the movie where he does it. I'm just like
that was a little. You know what? Honestly, man,
subtle,
like cosplay, it's the ones that just find that little fun detail that you stick to.
You personally.
It connects with you, and that was one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you see the getup, you're like, oh, that's cool. But then you see the cup, you're like, yeah. Now it went from cool to fucking memorable.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty much all I've got. Like the Justice League costumes were on display in the DC side of things. The Marvel booth was as bombastic and in your face as ever.
Christ. Yeah.
I didn't really spend a lot of time there. It was just a guy on stage throwing out people like.
People were losing their minds over people
pins.
throwing out pins. Like
Yeah, he was
losing
like-
their minds.
They're crawling all over each other. I'm like, this is
was
insane.
The one good thing that came out of the Marvel booth was not Marvel related at all. Actually, was I got to meet the Bat and the Sun guys.
Oh, that's right. They were around
Aaron,
there. Yeah.
I can't remember his father's name, but Aaron and his dad were there, and then also the tall guy that also runs. I can't remember their names. I feel bad about it now, but they were there. They were super friendly. I actually saw the taller gentleman first, and I went up to him like, dude, you're part of Bat and the Sun. You
Bat
do
and the Sun,
the superpowered
superpower.
beatdown.
That's right.
And he's like, I basically we started talking for a bit, and he's like, actually, Aaron and his dad are on the way over here right now. If you want to stick around and say hi, we're about to do like an interview or something like that. I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, maybe I'll swing around. We swang back and swang. We swang back, and they were there, and I just waited it out for a bit and said, hey, I'm a big fan of yours. It kind of gushed a little. But then I mentioned, I was actually, I've been a fan of theirs for a while, but I was actually really turned on to them by a film they did called Patient J, which was a Joker fan film.
Right.
And their eyes lit up. I'm telling you, if you ever talk to somebody that does any kind of media or films or anything like that, talk to them about their smaller scale projects or older stuff or something that's not super popular.
Popular or recent.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they get burned out from talking about the stuff that hits it.
Yeah,
big.
it's like, oh yeah, superpower beatdown. You've seen that, great. But you talk to them about Patient J, and they're like, wait, well, what? Yeah, my dad talked to my and he's like, Dad, come over here. This guy saw Patient J.
Oh, that's cool.
It's one of the best. It's actually one of the best fan films I've ever seen.
And he's the guy that plays Nightwing.
Aaron plays Nightwing in all the beatdown episodes.
Yeah. Very cool, man.
And he actually plays a really crazy looking Joker too. It's funny because
maybe
they did a beatdown with him versus Deadpool. I think. It was. It's actually pretty good, but it's funny too because I was saying to them Paul, the guy that plays the Joker in Patient J is Paul Milani something. I should look up their names and put them somewhere so I don't butcher them later. But anyways, I said he's one of the best Jokers I've ever seen. He's probably one of my favorite Jokers of all time. And then it was after the fact I was like, shit, Aaron's played the Joker a few times. I hope I didn't insult him a little bit. Yeah. But you know what? I think my guess is Aaron would probably have a pretty similar reaction to that too. Because the guy that did it in Patient J, he's...
Oh, but I think...
He looks very much...
Matthew Miller, Kevin Porter, Kurt Harley... I'm just looking at the
Paul Miller, maybe? I don't know if it was Paul Miller. I thought it was Paul something else, but...
Joker, Paul Matthew Miller. That's what it is. Or as Paul Matthew Molnar.
Molnar. That's what it was. Yes. Paul Molnar.
Yeah.
I
knew a guy in school named Paul Molnar.
Really?
Molnar. Yeah.
Was he?
He wasn't an actor.
Homicidal?
He was an engineer, so I don't think he would have become an actor. But anyway.
But this Joker was a good blend of the Jack Napier character from the '89 series, and the Alex Ross drawn. If you look at the Joker in Justice,
oh yeah, it's great. I'm just looking at it
exactly.
now. Yeah.
It's really, really good. So that I might actually throw that up on the description as well. So probably look up Patient J. The quality's lower because back when they did it, which must have been late 90s. Oh, I was gonna say late '90s, early 2000s, so a little later, but. It was still YouTube was just still firing up at that point.
Yeah.
So it wasn't super big yet. So I think we had to download this on QuickTime or something.
QuickTime.
Good old QuickTime. So right. Definitely check that out. That's one of my favorite films that I've seen that did the Joker character in general.
Yeah.
Extremely good.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Bat and the Sun guys for, just even hanging out for a bit. They were really nice.
I think they have a new one out. It's Wonder Woman. No, not Wonder. Yeah, it is Wonder Woman and Thor. Wait,
what?
Is it them?
No. That's Screw Attack.
That's Screw Attack.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got.
Screw Attack does a Death Battle.
Something
Death Battle. Which are animated, and those are also really good too.
Sorry.
But the Thor Wonder Woman one I breezed through the other day. It's actually kind of interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have a look at that.
I usually watch the fight and then I watch the preliminary stuff before because the preliminary stuff kind of influences they give
it away.
Not give it away. They're still pretty good about it, but sometimes if it's that stacked, This one wouldn't have given it away because it's a pretty close battle.
Yeah.
But like the superhero, there was one that they did Superman versus Goku.
Yeah.
And everybody,
I mean, they did two of those.
They did two of those
Yeah.
because people were complaining about the results of the first one. The second one was just the same shit. But the thing is like their metrics and their comparisons and stuff in terms of their stats and whatnot and accomplishments and shit that they did, it's like it's not even comparable. Like between Superman and Goku, Superman is so much stronger than Goku on every level. Stronger, faster, all that shit.
Oh man, you just pissed off all of our, probably half our user base, which is our listener base, which is like 2 people. At this point.
We're in the dozens now.
Are we?
I don't know.
Let's aim for the sky.
Let's aim for the sky.
Aim for the stars. Land on a cloud. Right? That's how it goes, right? Aim for the stars, land on a cloud. Anyway,
I'll be happy to land on a medium-sized tree branch. That's pretty much it, man.
yeah. No, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was fun. I enjoyed being back in the city. We went to the Slaughtered Lamb, which is a bar in Greenwich Village, which is the bar from American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
So that was a little.
Met one of the most interesting bartenders I've ever met. She was cool.
She was cool. She was fun. They had a bunch of pumpkins on the bar, so we drawing on the pumpkins and stuff. It's a good time, man. That city around fall period, and it's really warm there. That's the thing.
Yeah,
New York is always a
great.
couple of degrees warmer than Toronto, and it was really warm, and it was great to be back in the city, staying back in the old hood,
Hell yeah.
East Village. So yeah, that's New York Comic Con and Fantastic Fest.
I'd say that was fantastic. There had to be a fantastic pun. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'll stop.
yeah, I think we can wrap it up. I'm Otto Katru.
This is Justin Carcassole.
Sometimes we do last names, sometimes we don't.
I don't know.
I think we should come up with screen names, cool screen names.
Screen names?
Yeah, like, you know. like a screen name, like I was thinking like my DJ name used to be DJ Toolman.
DJ Toolman?
Yeah, like Toolman Taylor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've never had creative names. It's always been J or Big J. That's pretty much the only 2 names
I
ever
am
known.
not calling you Big J.
You probably shouldn't.
I'm not going to call you that. But next time we'll have cool names for ourselves.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
You're going to call me Big J.
See you guys next time.
Peace out. You are going to call me Big J.
I will.
Scream my name.
Ooh, you're the Duke. The Duke of New York. That's all I can think of.
The Duke. Oh, God. That
Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance,
What a
man.
fucking treasure that guy is.
I miss Donnie.
What's the actual line from the movie? He's like, who am I? Who am I? What does he say? And then he's like, you're the Duke. He forces him to say his name or something like that.
I can't remember. And then after the Duke actually dies, he starts like dancing on him or something. Not dancing, but he's just like looming over him, yelling at him. Ah, the Duke! Ah! Oh, goodness.